Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello to everybody, and thank you for tuning in. What a fantastic day it is going to be here in Sicily. We're about ready to start our qualifying, and I'm just noticing potentially the timing on screen needs updating, but we'll work on that. Cars are about to go out. It's been a very busy 24 hours with wet tracks, dry tracks, drying tracks, tracks getting wet again. But thank you for tuning in. You're watching the 1/10th IC Track Euros. This is an EFRA event, and it's brought to you by X-Ray. We're RC Racing TV, and Frank is in the commentary booth.
Hello to the world. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Frank.
Hello.
So we're finally up and running.
We've finally got cars on track, cameras moving, and we're back out talking to racing fans across Europe and across the world, from beautiful Giordano Naxos on the eastern coast of Sicily. If you look on a map, Sicily is that big island off of the bottom of the boot of Italy. We're on the eastern coast of that, between Catania and Messina. So it's a beautiful area of the world. We have had some rain the past couple days, which we're absolutely assured never, ever, literally never happens in June. But then again, we do hear that quite a bit. But, you know, it's what happens. We've dealt with it, and hopefully we won't see any more today. Although there is a chance of shower, because there is a small mountain range just a few miles away as the crow flies. And this gigantic mountain called Mount Etna, which is a very famous volcano not too far away. So, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some explosions to go along with the fireworks we seem to hear every night. And so here we are. We've got, this is the wide class. This is I believe it's 235 millimeter class out here. It's an invitational class. Well, I think that's the wrong word. I think it was international class, I think it's called. It's definitely starts with an I. But basically, sort of a promotional class to bring more nitro racers into the nitro touring car fraternity. Well, I shouldn't say fraternity, should I? It's just the group of racers that we see. There are a few, so this is it's not a full heat. I think there's just 5. Do we have timing yet? I'm sure Matt is sorting it out. We don't quite have timing yet. Yeah. So if you have any questions at all, you'll be watching us on possibly on the EFRA Facebook Live or RCTV Facebook or YouTube. I'm not sure how many different chat channels Matt is going to be reading off any questions, but usually the main one that we look at, because we can only really monitor so many, really. We only have so many brain cells between us. If you do have some questions, feel free to pop them into the RC Racing YouTube live chat, and we'll get those answers for you. So the main guy he's basically going to be the man to beat, I think, is going to be Thilo Diekman. We have a nice little video piece with him and explaining the wide class, which is basically kind of an update of the old 1/10 nitro pan car chassis from I think it kind of died out in the 2000s, late in the 2000s, but it was the sort of the companion class to the 1/8 IC track category. In the old days, they used to run the Le Mans or Can-Am style chassis body shells. Obviously, the wide tires, front and rear, and they were basically just scaled down 1/8 scale cars. I'm not sure how many chassis parts were actually shared. Probably not a huge amount. Obviously, the running gear probably would have been the same, except for the belt lengths and stuff like that. But they ran, in the old days, they ran 15-size engines, and these are basically running Nitro Touring Car chassis with the same engine, wider tires, so just a bit wider than normal touring car Nitro foam tires, and they have direct body mount attachments to the rear uprights, just like the 1/8 cars, so they're a little bit easier to drive, have more mechanical grip, and the same amount of power as a Nitro touring car, which, by all accounts, have become fairly just a bit too complex for just someone to jump into. So the idea behind this class is that you can get some brands sell, if you buy the wide version of the car, it costs a little bit more, but you get both versions of the car, basically. You have the wide car that you can build it up as, and as you develop your skills and get faster and become more confident, you can turn that same car into a Nitro touring car, which obviously are narrower, so they're harder to drive. They have less mechanical grip, so again, harder to drive. And the body mount, the arrow at the back from the wing, and all the scoops and little vents and cool little arrow gizmos that you see, those go through the suspension basically, and it just drives a bit. That makes it also just a bit more difficult. So there's just little tweaks here and there, and obviously it's a much narrower car, the Nitro Touring cars. And you'll see that these cars, they kind of step out a little bit, but it kind of depends on the driver. I think you can see where Tilo is. I think he's in the white car just coming onto the main straight. I believe Zach is on him now. That white number 5. Let's see if the timing is not refreshed. That's okay. So we're following Tilo. And this is a good opportunity, actually, to kind of go around the track and sort of introduce you to the track, which apparently, according to Alessio Mazzeo, was tarmacked or paved with stone from Etna itself. So this is a literally volcanic racetrack. So he's come across the start-finish line. Here's the first hairpin into the pit area. And then taking the kink, straighten that as much as possible, and then there's a hairpin coming onto the straight onto it. Sort of a gentle sweeper, and then down the main straight, very, very quick, and then sort of a kink coming across the sweeper at the end of the lap. So it's quite a short lap, not quite as short as 12 scale, where you might get 10 to 12 second lap times, but we're looking at I think it's about 15, 16 second lap times, depending. Suppose if you're quick, you're going to want to get into the 14s. Obviously go as quick as possible. But there we go. That is the first qualifying run. That's Q1 of the wide class. So the wide class is up first. And then we've got 4 heats of Nitro Touring Car, or 1/10 track IC, or IC track, as it's the official name is. So the first round will finish at about maybe 11:30, just before 11:30 local time. We're running just a few minutes behind the printed schedule that was given out yesterday. So we have Q1, Q2, Q3 will end at about 1:10 to 1:15 local time. And then we've got a lunch break where I believe we'll be going briefly off air, and then 2 more heats of qualifying, and that will end at about 4:10. Then we've got Super Pole. Super Pole will be pretty good. I believe it's going to be the top 3 or 4 racers in the touring car category, and then in about an hour after
So just a few minutes until the next heat goes out. We're just working on an issue with the timing so we can bring you the correct heat on the screen. We'll just get that figured out, and then we will be able to go with the next heat and have the timing on the screen.
Straight and across the line. That is the wish. That is the win.
Dominic Greiner has won already. He just needs to cross the line. So he does so. Dominic Greiner is our European champion.
Okay, sorry about that. We had just usual sort of live technical deal that we're working on. So this is the first heat of Nitro Touring Car that is out on the track. Don't have live timing, as you can see, is unavailable. Sorry. Okay. All right, so we're this being qualifying. It's just a few minutes per round. There's 10 minutes between the start of each qualifying run. Ooh, some good passing here. So the drivers have been seated according to the control practice. So just to catch everybody up on what the racers have been going through. Most of the racers, I believe, have been here since Monday, which is when open practice was available for everybody. Of course, some of the racers, for some of the racers, this is their local track. However, they have not been allowed to run on the track for the last couple of weeks, I think it is, or at least it's 10 days, if they are entered into the championships. And, of course, those entry lists have been set for weeks and weeks, if not months. But all the international racers have arrived. Most of them arrived Sunday. Some of them flew in Sunday night. And track was open on Monday when it was nice and clear weather, just like this pretty much. So clouds in the sky, and you can maybe see as we're panning across the track, some tracking action of these cars. These cars, the drivers, and the mechanics and support teams, meaning, moms, dads, girlfriends, etc. I've been here since on the track since Monday. Whoa! Not sure if we caught that one. That was a good one. I need to be watching the. See if we can save that one. That was a nice little highlight. So we got a bunching up of action here. I believe that's Francesco Tironi. That's right next to our cameraman Zach up on the rostrum. And this round is finished. But, ooh, that was... that's going to be a pretty dangerous place to be crashing during the races. Obviously, those cars... right about where at that point where the car was just flipped over, about 5 meters before that, the cars are coming full on power, and you don't want to be getting smashed up, at all. I was going to say too badly, but you don't want to be smashed up at all when you're out on here. These are qualifying runs, so okay. So anyway, let me get back to where we were. Open practice started Monday, so these drivers have been here literally all week. More controlled practice on Tuesday. Wednesday was very, very wet at the end of the day, and didn't quite. There's not like literal rubber that goes on the track like you would on a rubber tire category. These cars use foam rubber, very high density open cell foam rubber, but the oil from the exhaust gets spat out from the exhaust as they're flying past. The white smoke, if you're unaware, that's just burnt oil. But the unburnt oil ends up, and the vapors from the burnt oil get deposited on the track and then mix with the foam rubber, and that's what makes the racing line, the high grip racing line. So here we go, out on track. Unfortunately, I don't have the listing of the driver names once again, but anyway, so the traction basically was a bit lost because of the wet weather, and then yesterday it pretty much rained all day, and we were supposed to be starting qualifying. This is we're starting about a day late, basically. But because of the driver numbers, we're able to compress the program into 2 days very easily, and so that brings us up to date. That's where we're at. So we're letting our cameraman Zach follow any of the cars out there. We got let's see, these cars coming through the first hairpin. Zach, there's a group of 4 just coming right in front of right under us in the pit area. Now it's a group of 3. Might be catching up to that the car in front, coming onto the main straight now, hitting probably 60, 70 miles an hour, I would say. This is a pretty good-sized circuit. Not quite as big as Halifax in the UK. Maybe about the same length, I would say, as the Gubbio track, where we were last year. So pretty good. I think they were getting like 110, 120 kilometers an hour. Even the slow cars were hitting 90 kilometers an hour, which is that's a pretty hefty top speed. I think 101 is 100 is 61 miles an hour. So I would guess that these cars are hitting that top speed there. So we're following this car coming into just full power coming onto the straight. Almost as soon as that hairpin is cleared, full on the gas, hard on the brakes, coasting through that pit area, straighten out the kink through the inside sweeper, on the outside sweeper coming onto the straight, and again, that's a 90-degree turn at the end of the straight, believe it or not. But they're trying to straighten it out as much as possible and not letting the back end step out too much, because if you do, you're sliding, you're going on to the low grip area of the track. The racing line, I was chatting with the mechanic for Milan from the Infinity team. Let me get that chap's name. He's the team manager for Denmark. For Holland. You're saying the racing line is only about a car width after the first round of controlled practice. And obviously that line will widen slowly during the day and will go faster and faster. So that is warm-up. We've already got a crash as they're coming out of the pit lane. So there's about just a few minutes of warm-up, and then I believe it's going to be 5 minutes of driving, getting, I think it's 3 consecutive laps as quickly as possible. So if you can get some clear air around you, like this blue car way out in front, he's doing well. He's got no one ahead of him, obviously, because he was the first out of the pits, and he's got no one behind him because it's a little bit of squabbling early on, this number 8 car. The squabbling's happening behind him, and he's able to kind of just time trial it a bit, and just run his own qualifying. So hard brakes, and then coast around this double apex here into almost a hairpin, straighten that kink out. The 2 cars behind, if we drop back a bit, they are in danger of slowing each other up. The number 9 of the bright pink trying to get past. Didn't catch the number of the white and orange car. Now we have another pink car coming up behind. At least they're not all in white body shells. So that is the 9 that's now ahead of the 0. What happened to he crashed out, the 5 who was being chased. So he's made some space, maybe. The nice thing about consecutive lap qualifying, the way they're doing it, is that you can just kind of pause, pull off to the side a little bit, and maybe even come into the pits, get a quick engine tune or something like that, and just find a clear space, basically, to run your own bit of road. So if there's a group of 3 cars, or just behind a group of 2 cars, Zach. They've just come off the main straight now, across the finish line now. So now it's a group of 5 cars. So this might get kind of interesting here. Let's make sure. Yep. Oh, sideways. They are zipping and bobbing and weaving and trying not to let anyone pass them when they could just be, kind of work together a bit here. Straighten the kink out. These 2 pink cars, obviously going to be they are the fastest out there, I think. Apart from the blue car, who's kind of on his own. Well, no, he's just passed somebody, but we'll stick with these 2 pink cars. One's more of a darker pink somehow. That bright pink. So if you're familiar with last year's results, we've got the 0 ahead of the 9. Dominic Greiner from Germany, he also runs a pink and black car. He's not here this weekend. We'll go into that in one of the video pieces that we've got going. But we'll have that coming up for you later today, possibly during the lunch hour. But yeah, Greiner is not here. He works just a normal job like everybody else. So he's actually run out of holiday time. He's got some family commitments, and also he's going to be at the 1/8 Euros in Portugal later this year. And he's also going to Japan for the Worlds, which I believe is this class, isn't it? So, yeah, he's not able to defend his European title. So we've got Greiner's not here. Peach has not run 1/10 in a little while. We did see him last year at the 1/8 Euros, and hopefully we'll see him in Portugal. But we saw him in Valencia at the beautiful Valencia track, running 1/8. And I think Hackler, I was expecting to see Silvio Hackler here from Austria, but he actually he doesn't run 1/10. So we got the marshals from the last race. Hopefully, it looks like they were picking up some pieces of a broken car out there. So, unfortunate. But, so we've got the next race, I think is going to be Heat 4 coming out. And then we'll have the fastest guys out on track who were sorted by the control practice times. So we do apologize for the lack of the live timing on the screen. I'll see if I can find the web link to look for. To look for the live timing for you guys, so you can check that out yourself. Actually, let's see here.
So the live timing situation, we are still working on it. Sorry about that, guys. We're doing everything we can to get the live timing sorted, and we are. Oh, it looks like we might be about there.
Excellent.
That's good news.
Some names.
Maybe.
Yeah, these do look like the relevant names.
Do they?
I think so.
I'll take it.
We'll
take it.
Yeah.
It's moving.
Yeah.
There's flashing lights.
Yeah. There we are.
We'll take it.
These look like the correct names. We've got Filippo Domanin. Oh man, how exciting is his race going to be? If you guys have a chance, but during the lunch break, go watch last year's. I believe it was the final where he was. Oh, this kid is going to be so good. We've got Thilo Diekman, who's also running. You may have seen his name when the timing was working during the wide class. He's running both classes, so he's doing it hardcore. Stefanizzi, Lycaris, Guillermo, Garita. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised to see Domanin in Heat 4. You would think he'd be in Heat 5, but he's classified, at least, he's sort of on the bubble, I would say, of getting into the final heat. And notice that there are 10 racers in this one, so it is full. So it's not like there's only 8, and if the fifth heat were 10, he'd be in it. He's got a little bit of work to do, maybe. And Thilo Diekman as well, who finished 3rd last year. And Shepis, is that Mr. Shepis himself? And then Kazal. Some plenty of familiar names in here, and a couple of slightly surprising ones. Of course, we're going to have Balestre Mazzeo, we have Grosskamp, and Torini. I think we already missed Torini. My apologies. Yeah, so some big names coming up, and a couple of surprising ones in this particular qualifying heat. So, let me see. So, for those of you who are, let me see if I can find that link. There's a QR code, but that's not going to be any help for anybody. So let's see if we can So we're quite used to my RCM. We're kind of spoiled by my RCM, to be honest. But I'm going to see if I can find where to send people for. No. Okay. Right. Okay. So if you go to https, or well, just type in padlet.com, padlet.com, and then in caps, if you type in amsci_live_race, so it's AMSCI_LIVE_RACE. There's a link there. It's a European Championship 1/10th IC, and that is the live timing results page. So you can see who is on the program, the schedule, the free practice, qualifications, control practice, etc., and qualifying. So Heat 1, 2, and 3 results are already there. We are in Heat 4 at the moment. And I'm just trying to find the names of the drivers. So because it's a live one, I can't find a driver listing at the moment, but that will be on there, I'm sure, at some point, or if not already. But anyway, the information is there. Padlet.com, AMSCI_live_race. All caps, AMSCI_live_race. So that's where you can go, and we'll try to put that on the social media information on EFRA and RC Racing TV. Meanwhile, we've got live time. Let's see who's quick. Wow. Okay. Slightly surprised. Dominin has pulled off. Diekman is that Thilo Diekman? I think there's a relative of Diekman. No, that's Thilo himself is up there. 2 people over from Zach. Okay, so just a couple minutes left in this one. I think what they're doing is it's either 2 or 3 minutes of warm-up. We haven't had a clock on the screen to let the first couple of races, but 2 or 3 minutes of warm-up, and then come into the pits, and 4 minutes of qualifying, and it's the fastest 3 laps, I believe, consecutive laps. So we've got Shepis, Stefanitsa, Gayamo, Lycaris, Girita. Lycaris is I believe he's the Greek racer. He's the only one here from Greece. Shepis has dropped down a bit. Fiorella, Dominin still not gone out there, so don't know what's happening with him. If you watched yesterday's live stream, we have a really good interview with Fabio, Filippo's father, where he talks about Francesco, who is actually out there marshalling at point 2. Francesco is the younger of the 2 Dominin brothers. There's Francesco and Filippo. Filippo is a future bright shining star, I would say. He was so quick last year, but just a bit temperamental on the track. And once he gets that down, he is surely going to be winning lots and lots of major races. But this is Italy. Italy loves nitro. Italy loves nitro on-road. And, yeah, so there's some big names. There's Balestri. There's possibly Torini. There's, I keep mentioning Matteo. Yeah, there's those Balestri and Matteo are both former European champions. I don't think Balestri's won a world championship. But feel free to correct me in the RC Racing TV YouTube chat if I'm wrong. But everyone has finished and they're starting to come into the pits now. And we are just about ready for the 5th and fastest heat. So there's your finishing results. It's Guillermo Rosario Guillermo, Daniel Shepis, David Stefanizzi, Lycaris, Diekman, Pierella, Garita, Kazao, Strasser, and Dominine did not get any laps in.
Oh, this is good. We've got timing back, which is
Yes.
fantastic. We're just looking at the pit lane exit there. You're all watching on various social networks, but if you're watching on RC Racing TV's YouTube or Facebook or EFRA's Facebook, then you will find that Padlet link to the basically PDFs that get regularly uploaded, isn't it, Frank? It's PDFs of.
It
of
does look like
results
that.
and stuff.
Yeah, it's not live. So I don't think there is a live updated thing. I still can't find a driver listing. There might be, I think, the free practice.
The standings from controlled practice, which had Dario with the fastest lap.
Yeah, I think that's as close
But that
as we're going to get to like a driver
Yeah.
listing. So you can, if there's a particular racer that everyone wants to see, there's you can check that out. Yeah.
BM
There's a-
Clutch Spring says, "Good morning, Naxos. Full gas to all with
Full
a
gas.
fire rocket and strong arm emoji." Alex Youssef said, "Michael Tomher would TQ this event." Well, you got to be here to be able to TQ it. That's the first stage of TQing or winning anything is actually turning up. Minotaur King 1 says, "Mark?" ? And then
As
in the
in
following
Reinhard?
message, "Mark, are you there?" He's not spelt Mark correctly if it's Reinhard, but I don't know. Mark, if you're here.
Maybe MARK maybe means Mark Green.
Yeah, Mark Green.
Yeah, who is, I don't know. He's I don't think he's done international races in quite a bit. I
Maybe
might
it's
be
another
wrong.
Mark they're looking for.
Could they?
Jan Rithaiski says, "Thanks for the
Hey.
coverage." Well, thanks for watching, Jan.
Yeah.
We feel even better now we know you're here.
Yeah, tell your friends.
If you're watching along to the EFRA 1/10 IC Track Euros, brought to you by X-Ray, then please put some comments in the YouTube and let's get the discussions going. Dario seemed to be the fastest. I don't know.
Well, it's
how
showing
he's been
Tony
this
Gruber.
morning, but
Yeah, Tony Gruber's after controlled practice, which again was only a single round of controlled practice. So take that with a grain of salt. We've got Tilo Diekman out there. We've got Melvin Diekman on the stand, and Tilo is marshalling at the moment. So yeah, there's could be another Diekman in the top 10. There could be Dominine. Like I said, Filippo was slight surprise to not be in the top 10. But we do have Milan Holtius, who's very quick. Probably the Dutch racer that most people aren't familiar with. He's pitting across from Grosskamp, who's the other Dutch racer that everyone will be familiar with. He was running third at one point in the final last year, so he's definitely earned his spot in this one. My man Mazzeo is at the moment seated third. So this is, it's quite interesting the way the control practice is. It's practice, but it's still seeding practice. I don't know if they're going to reseed the racers after or during the lunch break, for Q4 and Q5. So maybe these might change for the final two rounds. Who's racing in Q4 and 5? So we'll see. But that's one of those questions that. If I were able to walk around and without being tethered by how many cords is my head attached to the desk with, I can try to get that answered. But so let's see who we can follow. So we've got car numbers, we've got names, and we've got cars zipping past. The easy one to go. Let's Zach through the kink right now and about to go on the straight. He's the only one going on the straight right now. Is that white and orange car? That is Gilles Grosskamp, former world champion, running, I believe, the Tamiya way back when at his home track in Heemstede. coming through the kink, straightening it out on that inner sweeper. The outer sweeper, full gas down the straight, hitting 60, 70 miles an hour, and across the finish line into the hairpin, coasting through the pit area, the pit straight, and then back through the kink once again. And that is about 15 seconds or so. Thilo Diekman was telling us yesterday in the wide category, they're almost at the point where they can match the some of the touring car drivers in with the wide cars. Maybe not these guys though. They're going pretty quick. We don't have lap timing information, unfortunately. But Balestri, after a few laps, has jumped up there. After 4 laps, has jumped into the top. He's swapping around with Tony Gruber. We've got Raiola, Grosskamp. So the top 4 or 5 easily swapping places. Thurston threatening. So Balestri, after a couple more laps now, looks like it's kind of shaking out where it's Balestri, Grosskamp, and Gruber are battling for that top spot. Thurston not quite able to make it into the top spot, but we had a very good chat with him yesterday as well. That'll be another video piece. Wanted to make sure that we got some of the notable and notorious. Not that anyone here is notorious, I would say, but Thurston and Matteo, after last year's Euros, definitely were not in the greatest of headspaces, and it was had a good chat with both of them actually. If you missed the chat with Matteo, we might be playing that in later, but it's definitely on yesterday's live stream. If you catch that on Facebook or YouTube, on whichever channel that you're watching this on, it's a very nice chat. The former European champion Alessio Mazzeo, and I don't know. I would think he's probably not calling himself an up and coming racer. I think Thurston's in a much more happy headspace now this weekend than he was last year. He's under quite a lot of pressure, and anyway, he's out there and going pretty quick, but not quite as quick as Dario, who, again, on yesterday's live stream, very nice little impromptu track walk with him, and he was telling us while he was getting rained on, he's like, can we get under the awning? He's like, no, let's get out here and get rained on, and you can walk us around the track. So we are with that is Grosskamp being very well harassed, almost. I think that's Balestri who's just passed him. Be interesting. Let me get the car numbers these guys are going past. As the car number 2 and the car 5. I think that is Balestri. It is. So teammates passing each other. And I'm sure sharing plenty of setup information. Oh, Balestri sideways. Getting passed by Grosskamp. Let's see what happens now. Is Balestri going to pile the pressure on, or they're just going to take it easy? Ooh, sideways again for Balestri. But that was the last lap, so not the greatest of qualifying for them there, but because they're possibly slowing each other up. But let's see how that ended up when the results come through. So Gruber taking that one, Raiola, Balestri taking 3rd, Tironi jumping up there into the 4th, and Grosskamp in 5th. Mazzeo, Diekman, again that's Melvin Diekman. So we got two sets of brothers out there. Diekman, the 2 Diekmans are in, obviously, they're in the next race as well. So one should be marshalling, but he's actually racing. And then we've got the Domanin brothers, a much younger pair of Italians.
Good stuff. So Dario continues to be the fastest on track. Would that be the case?
Tirone, I think it was that took that one.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dario, I think was
second
or third.
I noticed how much Dario says he loves the track, so he obviously is getting on very well there. Est Foxy says Nitro cars go burr. True. Minotaur King's still watching, saying hello to all. He's watching they're watching from Greece and
nice.
are a
Cheering
Griner
on,
fan.
Yeah. Very
no
good.
Griner. Esther Fox is asking what's the wide category. Well, glad you asked. We have a video with Thilo Diekman coming in a bit, don't we?
Yeah. It was a really
that
interesting
very
chat.
subject.
Yeah. One of those sort of resurgent sort of classes that's been updated a bit, and if you're really good, you can make them just as almost as fast as a Nitro touring car, the 200 mil. But these are the 235, basically a renewal of the 235 millimeter class from way back when. I believe it kind of died out in the late 2000s or maybe early 2000s. But yeah, it's an interesting. I think it's a quite cool way. I kind of described, although he's not a large scale racer, I kind of described it as the way the F1 category in large scale is meant to be sort of the fun class that brings people into the championship, and then maybe they sort of graduate to the fast category where it's a bit faster, a bit larrier. But yeah, I think it'll be good. And there's only 5 racers here, I believe, but it's pretty good. I think it'll be a grower, as they say. So we see Grosskamp and Balestri talking, doing the old motion of, oh, I was inside, you were outside, or maybe the other way around. Yeah, they see him pointing at bits of the track. You can't. Yeah, you could. The speck of red that's in the camera shot there from this angle. So there's still a few minutes to go. I think a little bit more of a space. So this is Q2 about to start. Engines are running. It's a couple of minutes of warm up, and then we go into the qualifying itself.
Oh, this is cool. So we're actually starting with wide. So,
yes.
So
wide is the first one. Yes. And then so you see all the fast guys are out there. We've got Balestri, we've got Maceo, we've got Tirone. Where's Milan? Don't see Milan is out there. Yeah. So, like I said, the fast guys who were just on track. I think they're giving the Diekmans a bit of leeway because Melvin Diekman is racing in Q5, and then he's supposed to be technically marshalling, but obviously the way the international team system works at the European Championship events is the team manager is supposed to sort that out, and if you can't, usually the team manager comes out and does the marshalling, covers that marshalling duty for the racer who's not out. So there's supposed to be 5 out there. There's only 3 on track. I believe that is Thilo Diekman's girlfriend bringing his car out. And, yep, there's Thilo going up onto the rostrum now. So, yeah, they give him a little bit of leeway, but they are losing some time on the track because of the changeover. And Thilo Diekman was just marshalling. So he's not... It's a very quick turnaround time, basically, for both of the Diekmans. But you know how we were talking yesterday, Matt, about White Lotus? It was season 2 was filmed. I mean, I'm looking literally at the hotel where it was filmed. It came out. Was it last year? It came out. There is actually an even more importantly culturally significant movie series that was shot in the area. Can you guess what it might have been?
Is it The Godfather?
It is the Godfather series, yes.
Wow.
So, yeah. I won't say how many of the movie shooting locations that Zach and I were able to visit, but it's more than you would think, probably. But yeah, it's very, very, very cool. And if you haven't seen it, oh my gosh, you have to see it. So yes, Godfather and of course White Lotus 2, Series 2, both shot in this area. And there is an actual town called Corleone, but obviously there was no shooting done there. And that's about 3 hours away one way. So, but it doesn't matter. It's the actual movie no bits of the movie were shot there. So we've got 4 cars out on track now. Time is ticking away. We're missing one. Well, neither of the Diekmans have counted the lap yet. Oh no, there goes one of them. So 4 minutes of running. We're over 30 seconds into it. One of the Diekmans is missing. I don't know if that means... I hope that doesn't lead to Melvin Diekman just dropping out entirely, because that would be a shame to lose 20% of the field and just deciding it's too much hassle to race 2 runs in a row. But Tilo immediately up into the top spot. Like I said, I believe he... Well, I just assumed Tilo would be the one to beat here, but actually it's I'm assuming his brother Melvin is actually qualified, well, pre-qualified better than him through control practice. So maybe the Diekmans are going to be battling to see who makes it into the big show, the A final, which is scheduled for 3 o'clock local time on Saturday, tomorrow. But we've got Tilo Diekman out there in the top spot. Actually, at the moment, it's Piprato and Diekman are swapping. Philpott, I think that is Bob. Or no, Bob Harley is just popped into the second. Bob Harley from the UK. He's one of those really friendly faces that we always see at the Nitro races, whether it's BRCA or EFRA. He's at probably every Nitro race that we go to. Always pitting with Alex Thurston and Papa Thurston. I don't know his actual name. I just call him Alex's dad or Papa Thurston. I'll have to get his name in a bit. And getting a little bit of freeze framing there. I'm not sure what is happening. So yes, someone did ask about the 235 category. I'll probably just kind of bore everyone else who's not interested in this, but because I did explain it, but we will have a further explanation. I'll just do a very basic thing. Basically, this is a sort of a refresh of the old 235 millimeter category from way back when, which was when it was scaled down 1/8 scale cars and 15 size engines. And this is back in the day when the 8-scale cars were using 25 size engines and then 21 size engines. And the 10th scale 235 millimeter class in the old days, there were just scaled down 1/8 scale cars with smaller engines. So these cars are basically wider nitro touring cars, which, again, in the circular sort of design of RC in this case, which are themselves, nitro touring cars are themselves much smaller versions of the 1/8 scale pan cars from back in the day, with all the wild adjustable sway bars, and I think they started with solid axles, and then now I think they've got gear dips in the back. There's so much tech that goes into these. But the nitro cars, the nitro touring cars, I should say, the 200 mil class, very, very complicated. They're narrow. The arrow is narrower. The tires are narrower. The cars themselves are narrower. The engines are super, super powerful. And so the 235 class, or the wide category, just to make it briefer, the tires are wider. The cars themselves are wider. There's more aero. And they're just easier to drive. So it's meant to be sort of a, hey, you want to drive nitro touring car? Well, here, start with this category. And at least one brand, I'm not sure if all brands are doing it, but I know at least one brand is doing it. If you buy the wide version of the car, handily, it comes with everything you need to make it either wide or a nitro touring car, so 235 or 200 mil. So that's pretty handy, I would say. You kind of get two cars for one.
Are they different bodies?
They are completely, well, not completely. They are different bodies, yes, because it's one is 3.5 centimeters wider than the other, so it's over an inch wider. It's like 1.25 inches. So yeah, they are wider. So they have more aero, more mechanical grip, but they use the same engines, most of the same. Well, all the running gear is the same. All the suspension gear is the same. The only thing that's different is the rear body mount and the wheels and tires, basically, and the body. I won't mention that the bodies are probably like, 30 or 40 euros or pounds each. And I've seen like stacks of 10 bodies in some of the pits. But, yeah, it's still, it's not the cheapest way to go out, but it is racing, So it's, if you're trying to move up from, say, fronty, maybe you're, too tired of how complicated nitro touring car is. Maybe you could convert it to a wide class and get a couple friends to do it, and show up at a club meeting and go, hey, can we run a class of these cars? We got 5 or 6 of us wanting to do this. Let's do it. And generally, the club organizer will probably say, well, yeah, that's another bunch of race entries that we can get in. So why not? Let's see, Mr. Bob Harley out there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one of these chaps is Melvin Diekman. We got Sabrina Ialaci, wife of Daniele, is here. She was actually replying on some of the EFRA posts yesterday, the other day, with the live timing link, that Padlet.com. Well, not live. I shouldn't say live timing, but the results link. So this is the first of the touring car qualifiers. This is just warm up right now. So you can see the pit action. Cars coming in, getting slightly. Now I was talking with earlier with Milan's pit crew. I think it's his dad, and he was saying that the track will be getting faster and faster as we go on. So it's a bit unfortunate that we don't have actual live timing with the lap times available, so we can see that happen in front of our eyes. But it will be pretty good. The track gets more and more grip. And that racing line goes from maybe being 1 car wide to maybe being 2 or even 3 cars wide by the end of the day. So that will be quite interesting. So just to run down, I'm going to try and do this maybe once per round, the times for today. So qualifying, we're in qualifying 2. We've got qualifying 3, which will start at about, I think we're running about 10 minutes late. I'm not sure. So about 12:30 local time. We're in Central European time. And that will, Q3 will finish at, third round of qualifying will finish a little bit after 1 p.m. Then we have a lunch break. And then we have 2 more rounds of qualifying. Not sure if we're going to have a reseed. And qualifying will finish just after 4 p.m. local time. And then we go about 45 minutes later. We go into Super Pole, and then we have the quarterfinal B and the quarterfinal A, and that will wrap up the end of the day at about It's probably going to be 15, 20 minutes. I'm not sure. It looks like it's maybe 20 minutes. That will finish up the end of the day at about 6:30 or 6:40 local time. So who are we with? Who has Zach chosen to be our first victim? That's the car 4 of Cauchy. I'm not sure of Signori Cauchy's first name, but he's coasting through the pit area. Oh, and he gets sideways and lets that car pass. Didn't get the car number of that one. Let's see who has just gotten past him on the whoa, and he goes wide. Oh! Big. Well, it wasn't a takeout. It was just a mistake, and he was coming back onto the track. That car 8. I think we were meant to have a replay there, but there we go. Oh, now. That is... and there's Teo from Amsheet doing a little bit of corner marshalling there. Don't see any of the wheels pointed the wrong way, but that was, unfortunately, that was car 4 of Cauchy is the one we're looking at there. Car 2, sorry, of Jones. That's Dan Jones, the GT8 section chairman. Section chairman. We have a nice little chat with him as well because we're hoping to have the GT8 European Championships here next year. So it's another nitro category, but bigger. Even bigger than the wide. I think even bigger than the 1/8 scale. But not quite as fast. And just less aero because they're bigger sort of touring car GT style bodies. And I'm quite guilty of looking at when we go to these events, quite guilty of going, man, this class was really fun to race. And then the next time we go, oh man, this class would be really fun to race. But I genuinely think the GT8 category would really be fun to race because it's enclosed. They're buggy-sized touring cars, basically, in electric and nitro versions. And I think there's... Oh my goodness! Did we get that? I think we did.
No. Well, for the highlights reel, yes. For a replay right now...
Okay,
it's
okay.
I'm behaving very well.
Right. Okay. No problem. I hit the save this button and hopefully it's saved. I'm not. I'm watching the action on track more than I am watching the action on the screen. So at the moment, but I'm trying to train myself to look at the screen a bit more. So who are we following now? I think this is that car who was first come a cropper. This is the car 7, so it's not the one I was thinking of. Car 7 of Scuderi. I'm not sure the first name, but it starts with an F. I'm just going to say Francesco because that's, the best name. Scuderi coming across the finish line into the hairpin. Quick blip of the throttle, coasting through the pit section. He's trying to straighten out the kink, but he's got that green and white car ahead of him. He doesn't want to take him out. Coming down the main straight. Little wobbly coming down the straight. It's a nice scheme, though. At least it's got 3 colors on it. I think there should be at least a 2-color minimum on these race cars because this particular one isn't too bad. We've got the number 1 car in white. We've got the 5 in all green. All the other cars have at least white on them, as well as a bright color, as we're coming into the pits now. Yeah, this particular round is okay because there's only the one solid color body out there. You know what I just realized though, Matt?
Go on.
Were we meant to maybe let Zach get some extra footage somewhere else as we're heading into the third qualifying heat?
Oh, true, yeah. Okay, well, we'll save that for the next.
I suppose, yeah. Sorry, Zach. Yeah, completely missed that one. So in coming up in the next one, this is the finishing order. So sorry, it's gone now. But So heat 3 of qualifying. This is the second round. Got Gloren Mussolino Pelwa, I think. Scuderi, great name. Turco Bryce. Raiskov, Vandal, Eduardo Domanin, and Legay. So I think this is Francesco Domanin, the younger of the Domanin brothers. The one who doesn't take it so serious is how his father Fabio puts it. It's Filippo who is the one I was kind of going on a bit earlier. I can't remember what position he was in the final, but he kind of kept taking himself out. I remember hearing the hits of the car of Filippo's car at the Gubbio track, where he would hit the kink, the berm of the kink, and go flying into the wall on the inside of the track, and it was just everybody was like, "Ooh, what is that noise?" But hopefully he's calmed down a bit. I mean, he's still a young guy. I'm not sure. I need to find out from Fabio how old the brothers are, but I would say he's no more than 13 or 14, and his younger brother, who's in this one, Francesco Domanin, I believe he's maybe 9 or 10. But it remains to be seen if Francesco takes it more seriously and if Filippo will calm himself down a bit. I'm sure we'll find out. We'll have some more answers by the end of the weekend. There's our runners and riders in this one. So it's Giuseppe Mussolino, Freddy Pelwa. Just looking at the first name so I can have something else additional to call all these racers by. So you may have heard the track announcer, which is a computer voice. Nice thing about all these European races, they're all run by a computer, basically. Although there is capacity for the race director to stop the timing. But basically just automatically says you have 5 minutes until something happens, and then 5 minutes later the buzzer goes, and that's it. There's no argument from anybody because the computer says this is what's happening. So about a minute and a half in this warm-up period. I think it's about 3 minutes or so. It's not really timed. I mean, it is timed, but we don't see the clock counting down. And then 4 minutes of qualifying per qualifier race. So 1 minute left, and then the drivers will start getting called in about 45 seconds or so. They'll start getting called in to into the pit lane, where the mechanics will do one final possible engine tweak on that high-end needle, refuel, splash and dash, because the fuel tanks last 5 minutes or so. Depends how thirsty they're running them. There we go, 30 seconds, and they're starting to come in already. And now they're going to be held in the pit lane. See Julie Thurston, the EFRA chairman. So a couple of cars have gone out, maybe a little earlier than they should have. Okay, well they're letting them go. It's okay. It was the 9 and 4 of Domanin actually, and Scuderi. Domanin wasn't caught by the start of the clock, so the first car to go out, he's doing an extra lap basically, so now he started his lap. So Zach, if we catch the last pink car going through the kink right now, and he's about to come on the straight, he's at the end of the straight now, crossing finish line now into the hairpin. That is Francesco Domenin. Let's follow him for a bit because we didn't really look at him on track, I don't think at all last year, really, like specifically. Let's see if he's able to catch this gaggle of cars that's ahead of them. There's a group of 3 cars that are kind of, they've done the initial bumping and barging, stuff like that, and sort of sorted themselves out, but I think Domenin is going to be catching them up in a few laps. Doing about 15, 16-second lap times. And this is the younger of the 2 Domenin brothers. Father Fabio is in the pits looking after them both. I saw Filippo. Filippo is the only one walking around with a baseball cap, or baseball style cap, and full motocross goggles on. Like the Nitro buggy guys do. So it looks like Francesco's kind of falling behind these guys. 2 cars in front have just come together unwisely. So, yeah, let's stick with and they knock each other out. Well, that was that. So, Francesco coasting around as we were told by Dario. Kind of just coast and let the car slow itself down through that pit complex. Kind of a decreasing radius set of curves that are coming up just now. Quick blip of the throttle, let the car just let it coast around there, and then straighten up through the kink. I think he goes a little bit wide to that first hairpin coming into the kink, but maybe that's just his preferred line. We'll see it happen again here as the number 3 car, who's that, of Palois, trying to catch up to him, but Palois is let me find out the correct pronunciation of that, but Palois catching up to him. Let's see where Francesco's running. At the moment, he's leading, actually, so it's a good car to stick with. So I may have missed it, but he may have just passed Francois while I was looking down briefly. But he's able to stay ahead, so it's no problem. Unless Palois is just genuinely quicker. Now, the one thing that I am very, very unsure of is if the timing results that we're seeing, if it's showing the overall qualifying time, or if it's showing the actual qualifying of where the drivers sit in the 3 consecutive lap qualifying. So the timing that we're seeing, I'm not sure. I'll have to ask our man Vito what we're actually seeing on the screen. It looks like Palois has gotten past Domenin now, so what is that showing them? Domenin's dropped down a bit, but Palois, I mean, it's definitely the car 3, isn't it? The bright yellow, yeah. Domenin's dropping back. He's got another car on him, and he's been passed again. So take the results with a hefty grain of salt. So we'll just see what we can see coming down. What's happened there? I didn't see that crash happen, but just in case, we'll save that bit. I didn't catch the car number, but that white and pink getting rescued. Got 2 or 3 cars having to get rescued out of that one. So that is 10 racers in that one. So Mussolino, Gloren, Bryce, Eduardo, Legay, Palois, Domenin, Reiskopf, Vendel, and Scuderi. So in the next one, that was Heat 3. So we've got Heat 4 4 coming up, so the next fastest group of racers. And In the qualifiers, at least for the pre-lunch qualifiers, it's another thing we need to clarify with the organizers. These qualifiers that we're watching right now were seeded by the control practice. There was one round of control practice that happened before we came on air, and that basically set the where the racers would be placed in the qualifying rounds. Now, what I mentioned I wanted to clarify something, and that thing is just to ask the organizers if there will be a reseed during the lunch break. The lunch break is scheduled for about 1:15 local time to 2:30. There may be a reseed during the lunch break to put all of the fastest guys together, or to resort, basically, using the results of Q1, 2, and 3. And so that the Q4 and 5 are changed around, possibly again. So, Matt, you're back.
I'm back. Elias Hedstrom is asking, is anyone racing for Sweden? I don't believe they are.
I don't believe so, no.
Swedish racers. So no, sorry, Fabio, there's no... Elias and Fabio are both discussing Swedish pilots. It's an important question, and it's now been answered. There are none. Sorry. Lars Stubbholm. A few people have joining in on a discussion about the Thelos, Diekman, Topman, Melvin, the whole situation here. I don't know if you're probably discussing that at some point. Relations between people. And it's all theories at this stage. Lars Stubbholm is saying Thilo Diekman is married to Melvin's sister, I think. They are not brothers.
Okay.
But then Fernando Campetti, yes, Thilo Topman single, Thilo Diekman married. So make of that what you will. Again, well, this is just hearsay. This is this is just people's discussion. We're not casting aspersions or we don't know.
Well, the very last thing I want to do is go up to all three of them and say, "How are you all related?" Because people on social media are asking.
Yeah.
What's going on here? It's just like, do they, the Curb Your Enthusiasm sort of like circle of hand thing? Like, what is all this? No, I'll check out. I mean, we had a good talk.
You can find a subtle way.
Yeah. You
can find a subtle way to, maybe show your family tree and say, hey, we're all showing family trees.
Yes.
You want to show yours? We're all...
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Amilcar RC, thank you for providing coverage of this event. RC Racing TV always do a great job. Well, I'll be honest, we are doing our best with a range of issues, as usual. But yeah, we don't have the best connection to the timing system, as often is the case. We love being in Italy. We love the food. We love the people. We love the racing. We love the nitro. We love everything about it. But sometimes we have issues connecting to... We love arancini.
Love it.
Oh, yeah. But the timing system, sometimes we have issues to connect to. But we're figuring it out on the fly. Stefan is a genius, and he if anyone can make this work, he can, and it is working, so that's all good. With regards to the 3 laps, yeah, we need to reflect the 3-lap situation, but we don't know if we're getting that data from the timing system. So please bear with us. You're all so kind. Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, at the moment, I'm using the. I don't have a printout of the drivers either, so that's another thing I need to. One of 3 things I need to check out. I'm just using the list of drivers as they're moving up and down, just kind of, like I said, as a grain of, take that with a huge grain of salt, meaning don't completely trust it that these are the official qualifying times. Actually, if you do want to look at the official qualifying results for each run, you can go to the padlet.com information link, and that's on the Facebook pages for EFRA and RCTV, is that right?
It is, yeah. The link is pinned in the RC Racing TV YouTube channel, so please go there. And you can hit that link and get the info.
Great. Perfect. So, yeah, so if you do want to see the actual official results, I maybe don't have enough fingers to do that live between each, or everything that's going on. So feel free to do that and discuss amongst yourselves. But, yeah, so once again, we don't have Filippo Domenin running in this one. Very interesting. So I wonder what is happening. Francesco is running, the younger one, and but the faster one, Filippo, is not running in this race again. So, not sure what is happening. So that's maybe the first surprise that we've got. Diekman is up there. Slightly surprising that he's not top, but then you can't always be up there. But yeah, it's Tilo that's out there. Melvin is in the next round, and if I remember right, he did not run in the wide Q2. This is the second of 5 rounds of qualifying. The fastest guys are in the next race immediately after this one. And the sun is out. The wind is up. I see flags. Not quite snapping or cracking, but they are flowing nicely. We've got clouds. The possibly threatening rain clouds are not appearing, which is excellent news, which is definitely what we have wanted after the last day and a half of rain. Actually, coming on 2 days. But yeah, so looking forward to some great racing. So let's see who we are following here. Zach has caught. This is the no side number. Well, it's the number 1 car. Is that Filippo? You know what? Filippo is out there. This is Filippo. But he's not counting any laps. So what is happening here? Well, it's got a number 1 on the side anyway. It's supposed to be Filippo. As you can see on the timing, in that number 9 spot, it says 1. That is the driver number, which is supposed to match the car number that's on. So we'll try and watch it for another lap or so. I want to have a look at the time. Because he's on the track by himself, I can see who crosses the lap. No, I think that is Domenin with with a faulty transponder or something is happening there.
So that's something else we need to find out in the lunch break. What's going to happen there? Because he's not going slowly, and he will not be happy with being last place.
No, he's just pulled into pit. I see. Yes, Francesco has picked up that car, which means that is Filippo. And Filippo's come off the rostrum wearing his motocross goggles. So, maybe his dad told him, just keep running and I'll try and get your laps in or something, which I doubt is going to happen. I don't think they can just. It's your responsibility as a mechanic and racer, or as a unit. You're meant to have all of your electronics working for the timing equipment to properly count you. So I don't know. I'm not saying that that's what Fabio's going to try to do or is doing, but I mean, I don't know. So yeah, an issue potentially.
So just to confirm, there is some data for Filippo Domenin because in Q1 he's in 11th place. And so again, I don't know necessarily whether to take that with a pinch of salt, but on the Padlet link, which is
okay.
in YouTube, and it's pinned, and you can go in there and you can look at the Q1 results. Yeah, he's there. So again, take it with a pinch of salt. I'm sure all will be well.
Yeah.
Yeah, people. Roberto Riboni, Fabiano Morelli, the transponder, millions of question marks.
Yeah.
Roberto, OMG, the transponder doesn't count the laps. I think it does. I think it's just a connection with the timing system. I think it will all be fine. An update from Maho Nice on the Philo situation. Yes,
We're going to have
true.
to sort this out
Philo.
before it becomes like a thing.
Philo married Melvin's sister. So there's two people saying that now. So,
But Melvin
none
is
of our
also
business.
named Diekman. There's Melvin Diekman
Curious, I
and
don't know.
Thilo Diekman. Melvin Diekman is racing. He's in this. He's racing now. He's on the track.
There you go. Well, they're not
And-
saying he doesn't exist.
I know, but well, okay. Let me put it another way. If you're Joe Smith and you meet Betsy
Yeah.
Smith, or no, you meet
Right.
Harold Smith, and then you meet his sister Betsy,
Right.
and you're all Smiths, and then you're Mr. Smith, and you marry Ms. Smith, and you become the Smiths.
Yeah.
I mean, but I suppose she doesn't have to change her name.
No, of course not.
I mean, it's
Max
just
Chan
unique.
is
It's
saying-
just how it is.
Yeah, it's one of them. Max Chan is saying Raiola with two bicep emojis. Clearly,
Yeah,
a Carmine
he's
fan
looking good.
There.
Carmine, yeah.
He's looking good. He's currently, after Q1 he was 6th. Let's go Filippo, says Roberto Riboli. Go Francie Gas, says Fabiano Morelli. And I wholeheartedly agree.
Go who? Was that France or
Francie Gas? I mean, go France, go Gas. I don't know. But there you have it. This is the EFRA 1/10th IC Track European Championships 2023 coming to you live from Sicily. You can see the cars exiting the pit lane for their second. This is the fast guys going out for their second qualifying round.
it's the Battle of Mount
Now-
Etna, which you can see just in the background of that the pit exit shot. That is literally Mount Etna, a live, living, breathing volcano. Not too far away from us. Just it's dominating the horizon to the left of our main camera shot. So who are we following now? I think we're on. Wow, I think it's car 4. They're quite fast. That is Raiola, I think, that we're on. Let me just confirm. Yeah, that's Carmine there. Let's stick with Raiola for a little bit. He is, oh dear, there's 3 bright orange body shells directly ahead of him. So he's coming up on the orange crew of the car 1, 6, and 8, which is Gruber. 6 is Tironi, and 8 is Holthius from Holland. He's already passed Holthius. Raiola looking powerful. Who was fastest in this one? I think it was Tironi. No, it wasn't Tironi. It was White. No, Gruber. Gruber and Balestre were also very quick in the first round. Raiola coming through the kink, the inner sweeper, powering through down the main straight, across the finish line, around the hairpin, quick flip of the throttle, coast. Got a little sideways there coming out of the pit complex. We don't have any. Oh, we have a dead car. Who is that? Ooh, stop and go for somebody, I just heard. I should have brought my binoculars. I can't see. Tilo just picked up a car that is dead. It's sat at its feet. So we're still on Raiola. He's, I think that's Tironi that he's trying to hassle. Not quite able to get past him. He's already past Holthius. One of the faster guys on the Infinity team, but Tironi, I'm going to assume he's been here a few times for the Italian National Series. Coasting around. That's a great set of corners there. I love a good decreasing radius set of corners. Down the main straight. Across the finish line. He's getting ever closer to Tironi. There's just 3 minutes. No, 3 minutes down. There's 1 minute, just under a minute left. Oh, slight tap. But he got past, not called by the ref. There are I believe there's there's one EFRA referee. It's so great that there's multiple bright orange bodies. And they all have black wing end plates as well. I think that was Tironi that got past Holthius. There's just half a minute left. Got Balestre, Gruber, Raiola, Grosskamp, Tironi. That just slid sideways. I think it was Balestre in the car 5. Or no, that's car 5 is Grosskamp. That's the end of the run anyway. Doesn't look like any serious damage was done. And that's the end of Q2. So, Zach, if you can lock that off. So we're going to go to set of still cameras now. And this is
still.
This is the last round before our lunch break. Yeah, go for it, Zach. And so this looks like they're not in a massive rush to get anybody out. I don't hear any engines going. So maybe they're having, I don't know what's happening. But
maybe they're having a cup of tea.
Yeah. Espresso. No, cafe.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, an espresso, yes. So with that, shall we go to a short commercial intermission?
Yeah, let's do it.
And across the line, that is the wish, that is the win.
Dominic Greiner has won already, he just needs to cross the line, so he does so. Dominic Greiner is our European champion.
So you're watching the EFRA 1/10th IC Track European Championships 2023. This is an EFRA event coming to you live from Sicily, and it's brought to you by X-Ray. We are RC Racing TV. Thank you so much for watching along. It's great to have all you people watching qualifying from all around the world as well. Max Chan thinks it's funny that I said they've gone for a cup of tea. We're not sure. Here we go. I can see people coming to the pit lane. Just a short intermission, it seems, between qualifying rounds 2 and 3. Short delay, but it looks like people are coming back to the pit lane. We are fighting a few fires in the studio, solving some timing issues and getting some more information on things that are going on around the track. You guys are watching at home and commenting along in RC Racing TV's YouTube page, which is awesome. Darren Lee, is there any live timing or results anywhere? There is no live timing. However, there are results. You just have to look at the pinned comment in the RC Racing TV YouTube page or on the EFRA or RC Racing Facebook pages, and you see a link that says padlet.com. That's the one. Go there and that gets updated after every heat with the times. That's what we're working with. So yes, it looks like no issues for Filippo Dominin. They may have had issues with the transponder, but they have counted the laps. I suppose I could take a look and see if we have yet the standings after qualifying 2. And we do. So just hearing in our ears that there is discussions going on because there is a strong suspicion that there will be very bad weather tomorrow, finals day. So, and depending on which weather app you look at, slightly different forecasts. And also there is a issue with Dominin's transponder, and they are working on that as well. So a few issues going on at the track today, all fun and games. So there are discussions going on about how many races they're going to fit into today. Potentially we'll see the quarterfinals take place this afternoon. We'll get that far. 5 rounds of qualifying, Super Pole and the quarterfinals all today. And then that will just leave us with the semi-finals and the main final tomorrow. Or quarterfinals may be pushed into tomorrow, depending on how the weather's looking for tomorrow when we look at the forecasts for later today. When I say we're just sat here clinging on for dear life as the organisers do their best to cope with the weather and the technical issues surrounding any major event. Come under various issues, so we just got several of them all at the same time here, so it's all fun and games. Anyway, after the second run, I can tell you qualifying Heat 5, Dario Balestri was